Good morning, or whatever it is, wherever you are. Last time, we got most of the API stuff out of the way to actually fetch a list of hosting channels, and maybe at some point I want to see if I can. Well, I'd have to run a little server probably to get the alert information. Unless. Yeah. Muxley seems to be all focused on extensions too. There's an API for that. Alright, so yes, well, yeah, we could do some basic formatting first. So traditionally, a credit roll would be more centered. So we got footer, we got... Is everything here centered? Probably by default. Except for you. And I don't have any styling on my list yet, do I? Model.host, you all... Or really, this would be anything in the credits. Actually, come to think of it, that would be web development as well, since we're basically doing HTML stuff today. List style type none. So not that itself. Is the URL or the LI that has to get that? Okay. Why does that centering feel off? There's probably still some margins on the list. Or maybe on the UL, yeah. And it's not showing me the system. No. Okay. Okay, well, it appears to be padding on the UL, even though it's not listed in the... I guess it's Chrome that shows it as browser styles. Yeah. Yeah, it looks a little bit better aligned. Now the question is... Does center line actually look good there? Or would a centered left-aligned column So I think the credits actually do that for like regular names. What? Yep. Don't know what I hit there. And the only difficulty there is going to be actually centering something. We could probably do that. It's a relatively... Hmm. So that wouldn't be a text... The trick is to center something, it has to have a size. Well, let's see how well Fluxbox does. That had not recompiled yet. Okay, so this would be credits. This feels like a page I've done before, but they've redone the art in this drawing style. Maybe they're trying to reinforce that it's not actual elements showing how they actually go. And it's something that could vary by browser rendering. All right. Although I feel like my colors are maybe a little messed up here because Firefox tries to, yeah, to use the system colors a little bit. And half the time it doesn't work out that well. Main axis. Left to right. Top to bottom. No wrap. Justify content. Yeah, effectively start. Align items. And this is where we run into the size problem. Oh. No, we're into a typo. Okay, that's approximately what we wanted. Now, I'm suddenly remembering I'm doing a bunch of alignment stuff. But I had heard about something that was interesting. It was like Elm UI? Because this is the kind of thing where regular CSS becomes awkward. Although the Fluxbox is doing pretty good so far. So we have elements as L text row. Apparently a line is an element? Maybe that's elements and attributes. Background border font. Wow, that was a big interruption there. And so this is 3 elements lined up. And they are using a... Oh. Main. Well, I guess if it's returning HTML, that would... You might still be able to do that for the super simple apps. Well, actually, that is a question. Can you do browser applications with this? And how does that work? Row of stuff. My element, align right. Is my window just not big enough here? Oh, yep, okay. So width, fill the available space. Center Y with spacing. Element, element, element. Wrap and align right around the element. Background font, border, padding. Yeah, so the one thing I'm uncertain about this style is that you have to respecify styles everywhere. I guess that could be turned into functions to some extent. Now, how does main elements work? Can you just use this anywhere you use HTML? Borders of an element. I guess technically I would have to redo some of my library stuff. Don't affect the layout when you do. Ah. Are these two different namespaces of attribute? So that turns HTML into an element. I mean, is this something you can just drop in? Your layout and view. How does this work? Are there more examples? Basic main element.layout element.rgb, and that, well, that was white. Browser.sandbox. View is view, and view is an element. And then document wraps the thing that can be a view. So it appears to be HTML compatible at some level. Although we can then can we then do SVG? Okay, so view. So we have rows and do we care? Well, just different. So we would not have classes here. L still has an attribute. Well, row still has an attribute. We would not have our style node. Do you do rows in rows, or do you have to do row element row? Oh, it wants element.layout as the top level thing. No, we should, and like install it and stuff. This is probably gonna have to reset anyway. Elm package install Elm UI. No. Oh, that's right, there is no. I think, yeah. There is no package command anymore. Element. So he's doing exposing all. Well, that was the original purpose of the, which I guess could run into some interesting issues here. So layout has stuff like our basic color. I don't know if we've got a regular RGB. That suggests that it's proportional, not. They're mostly going to be fonts. So this part is definitely more awkward when you're trying to work with some established systems. And actually, we shouldn't need element because we pulled that in, but we might need as background. And that is specifically a table. Browser.sandbox. Element.layout. Okay, so we have rows and columns. This is going to be more of a column with elements. Well, actually, we've got multiple things here. I think both of them are columns, though. Don't know what attributes are going to be. The layout indents everything. Or, well, we have this and we have the footer, which is itself a column. And then you are a column. We hope that works. Of region dot, well, that's a little slightly more awkward. Was that a, nope, that was a 1. Import element dot region as region. And it is, so text is an element. Or it's, well, I guess that's element content. I guess we assume an element grounds out in text, or does every text have to be an element? So this has to be an L. Region.heading2. But that means, how does... That's an element. Oh, element.l, element.none. Does that mean we can still use text as an element? So this is also going to be a column. Don't know how to do classes. This is going to be an element of wait. No, that would have been a 1. You are not a list. List.map. Ooh. So is list a thing, or is that just a column? Input main content navigation heading. Side footer. Write some plain text. Text does not wrap by default. Okay, that's interesting. I might not like that. It's a div, but you can only have one child. Wrap takes up too much space. Columns don't wrap. Paragraph, text column, data tables, size, debugging, padding, alignment, transparency, adjusting, clipping. Links. Images. Oh, there are other forms of color. And there is just an RGB. Oh, there's a 255. Which should make this a lot cleaner. Nearby elements. Mouse over focus. Incompatibility. All right, so columns are pretty much what we'd have to use for a list. And our text highlighting got confused there. Okay, so display host. I think this becomes an L with region.heading 3 and text. Name entry box gets into input stuff. Element.column, L heading, input.radio, input. There's a username specifically. Don't know what is special about that. No, there's a form input module. What type of things like autofill to work correctly? Might be somewhat appropriate. So this, is this supplying the label for us? In which case we don't need any tagging here? There's a placeholder, okay, and a label. But that's all the attribute stuff. And then we go label. Actually, these are attribute. Column attributes. Set text. Why did I put a space there? Oh, that was the space break between the elements. Placeholder. Label. We never fill in text. But I do have to figure out events. Which is probably going to be attributes. Wait, did I miss? Oh, no, on change. Okay. That might be the wrong kind of change, though. It might work for this case. Which means we probably don't need that. Oh, and a couple of my types are going to be wrong here. Because these are not going to be HTML message, but... element message. And does that mean... map message message 1? Were we at footer? Alright, so that was a region thing. Region.footer. This is going to be a row. And then we had basic element links. link, regular attributes, URL label. Regular attributes, label is an element. Oh, I don't know if I still need text separators. That might be a spacing thing here. Oh, and these have to be attributes. Label equals, and we still have to see. Oh. I guess that'll be a row. URL equals, no, okay, yes, the end of that. All right, now icon is actually SVG, which I guess it's technically HTML. And we see if it accepts that. Because I don't know how else I'm going to do that in the element library. Display name entry box. Parsing a record. In definition. Ah. That was not the most useful error message. Okay, we need the HTML type. Oh. Well, I guess we do need the HTML type, huh? Cannot find a font.color variable. What? What? Oh, okay. That's a totally misapplied error message. It has nothing to do with font.color. Cannot find an okay. Oh, I guess I don't need a split window anymore. Second element of the list does not match all the previous elements. Of which list? layout function. Oh, does layout take an array? Layout list element. Oh, yeah, they did use the operator here. And I guess that's why. Second argument to map. The view call produces HTML message, but map needs the argument to be. Element.map, tagger. Oh, view does produce HTML. So that's an HTML map. Can I get a visual reset on how much? What list? The problem is you start just this isn't like a straight up syntax error, so you can't just pull out giant chunks of code without breaking everything. I guess you could neuter entire bodies. What was it? Second argument to username is not what I expect. Ooh. Label on change. Oh, that's right. You can't just ignore things you don't care about. Label string. Oh, it has to be an input.label. Okay. What's a label? Label above. Oh, this is where you specify where it is. Okay. Label equals input dot label right. List of attributes, single element. Oh. Label right. And we're back to type errors. So input.label message, string to message. Oh, placeholders are maybe, huh? Interesting. Convenient. Oh, wait, do I have to map it to a placeholder? Oh, the typing. Type of content. I guess placeholders can be rich content because that's an element. Element.placeholder. Oh, right, it's input. Oh, right. So we actually have to be a text and then input placeholder. Okay, so that compiled. Now we have the question of where was the error here? Okay, so it has something to do with this code. Link URL label. Oh, does that mean we need to use the label type? No, because that's not in this module. Element message. Link is a list. It has a URL string. Oh. Text is an element text. And I don't suppose it will just work to make these all a list of HTML, huh? Second argument to row is not what I expect. Well, we can't really do this right now then. Oh, turn HTML into an element. So we can make you an element and then do we're gonna have to bracket something, aren't we? No, that's one of the things the operators do. I don't know if the precedence is right going this way. But I forget which operator we actually need for this kind of case. HTML message needs left argument to be A to B. Produces HTML message. Needs to be A to B. Okay, so likewise, we should be able to do that. The HTML import doesn't work so good. I mean, spacing is a thing we'll have to figure out. We'll have to figure out, I mean, the bottom we can probably figure out. Well, it's there. It's just 0 width. All right, well, I'll start knocking out a few problems here. So, background border, maybe border? Or is this basic sizing stuff here? Not a data table. Size. So width, height, shrink, fill the available space. Padding and space. So element row, spacing is distance between children. So that's this thing. What are the units? Pixels. So we're back to pixels, huh? Okay, so just having extra space there doesn't help. Okay, so the other problem was putting something at the bottom. Alignment. Align bottom for the footer. Oh, is this going to be align contents or align the element itself? Definitely not the element itself. So that was sort of like this. We wrapped an extra element for the alignment around it. No. Of course, now I'm trying to interpret internal stuff. It does say it's flex, though. There's footer. That's probably the... everything's flex. Align self. Whole lot of stuff. So the inability to debug things might be a problem. Also, my regions don't seem to be doing squat. Well, it is... Okay, so they've just wiped out the styling of those elements, I guess. Are they then expecting you to use a style sheet? Image color. Don't affect the layout. In front, behind content, left, right, above, below. It's all relative. How do you say put something at the bottom of the screen? Elm UI, bottom. Well, bottom of page. Yeah. I might have to ask around in the Discord for that one. Or discourse. So I've got two problems right now. We've got right, they're probably using the regions for only their semantic value, expecting you to reapply the styles to every single instance, which I guess it could be being used differently. Alright, so our SVG icons are getting zero sized. So yeah, one way to deal with this is to use explicit width and height, which is annoying. Oh, right, we probably lost. Right, so actually, we lost all our SVG stuff on this because we can't apply a class to it anymore. No, wait a minute. SVG.attributes. Are you being overridden by something? Oh, right, I'm not even putting my node style sheet in here anymore. Which is probably something... So we're going to have to do, like... Because we're going to need some styles for the icon stuff. So this is going to have to be, like... div... And this should appear in the diff. HTML.node style HTML.text CSS. And then this whole thing is a child of that. With somewhere a closing list that can't quite. It's kind of limiting itself. Okay, I think that lines up. Okay, that does balance. Oh, HTML.div. Okay, that fixes the icons. Could probably fix the spacing a little bit. That also fixed some other spacing. Because we used to have more space between that and the other stuff. So our link colors. This presumably we don't do here. This presumably we don't do here. This presumably we don't do here. Oh. Body styles still have to be applied at this level. Because Elements doesn't do that. I mean, unless there's a body style thing. There is element.background. How do you apply it to body? You don't, I guess. Alright, so we got our icon stuff. We've got our main body background. How the heck? So that's one of our research points. How do you get this to go to the bottom? We figured out how we get the icons to work. This is a footer. So we might still be able to apply it that way. Assuming it isn't overridden. And we are in a flex context. So what the heck? So we put a wrapper around this to apply align bottom. That looks like it might be align bottom. And it's saying margin bottom 0 important, which ain't doing squit. Align bottom, yeah. We would have to make some parent container How does this work normally? Fill is a length. And then we have height and width. So layout. That did not help. So this is where it could be useful. Their method for doing this. Explain. And accidentally ship. Oh, okay. Okay, so that is not filling the available space. Oh, we probably need to do this as well, since we've got a container here. Height 100%. And what did we mess up? No. Oh, HTML.attribute. Attributes. Attributes. Right, so we still have to import this. Did something. But now the problem is I don't know which element is which to apply stuff to. So div node layout. So this column also has to be height fill. Okay. Oh, and I guess like the dotted line is all of its children. All right, so now we have to do relearn layout. Element center X. So the column Right, so that's being, so actually this one needs to not be center X. It is, this one needs to be center X. Which means this one probably needs to be width fill. Okay. Ooh. Well, we do have moves, so we should be able to do the offsets in this. We'll see. The only annoying thing is here we don't get freestyles. Get status. Checkout minus B. LMUI. Which means we have to go down, and then I'm going to have to revisit my login page thing. Region heading 1. I'm going to have to manually apply all the styling that we do for headings. Now, wasn't there something, and maybe it was a font thing. It did look numerical step sizes. Modular scale a number and multiplies it by a ratio a number of times. So that defines the system, and then that thing returns the scale. Scaled equals maybe that used to be in a scale module and the documentation's old. Yep. So now heading font dot size. So that's your base scale. Heading 1 might actually be like a couple steps up. Oh. Nice interpretable library. What is That'd be basics. So to float, float to int. So int to float, and then we have round, floor, ceiling, truncate. Okay, I thought that would work. Apparently not. Oh no, I was using the implicit argument here. Would function composition work for that? Apparently it does. Okay, we need to center this separately though. And we probably also want... oh, well, this is a font style. But we need to center these separately. Okay, so you have to be a fill as well. No. Width fill. Okay. And then this is a column, so I might want different spacing here and here, but then that would actually be making this a unit and spacing between it. That might actually not be enough. And I think this reset our font choice as well. Fonts. Arial. So this would be like any other application. Yeah, reset a lot of things. So default to times, which I was kind of fine with for this. Size 16, size 20. Well, I mean, we're gonna want to do something with sizing on this anyway. Perhaps even responsive sizing. And that they had a module for. But yeah, I think I like the other font better. Family. Font.family font.time typeface. Align the Okay. Variants. Font.color, font.size, font.family. So this would be like our top level layout, basically. I guess maybe we should do the font stuff. Times New Roman, I believe is what that was. And I don't know if we care about the rest of it. This might still get left. So that no, that should be everything. The font, this should probably be sized separately anyway. So this must have been larger before or something. Because that doesn't necessarily look better. Now this is relatively by default small anyway. Well, git stash. So is this like defaulting to bold? Wait, oh. Oh, that's right, I was using title or headings for these. So it probably was getting strong. Okay. Stash pop. So that gets us a default there. This is down here where... Okay, yeah, heading... I was using heading 3 for that. This might actually want to be heading 2 when we get down to it, but... Okay, is the font.size okay? I think the thing I was seeing most was font bold. Arr? Arr? What? Okay. Just caught it at a bad moment, and then we're gonna want a little bit of, and let's, we're gonna need to size things appropriately, but column. Huh. Maybe this needs to be more, so this has room. Yeah, that might be actually be too much. Okay. That's some crude formatting. I probably do need to make the credit line smaller. No, was it more like 12 or 14? I closed that. Somewhere around there. Okay. There we go. Okay, that was for, yeah, the font. So does that mean I should actually use something like... Oh, and for that matter, if this is all supposed to work together... Okay, that did shrink it a little bit. Does that mean our baseline font size for this application should be a little bit larger? That probably means... I'm not sure if I keep on using negatives for this or just set it. Well, gee... was mainly... Yeah, mainly font work. You. Okay. So does that leave... Oh, I want to check the other view because I still don't know. Okay, like that size is a little bit... And they're hooking the wrong message. I don't care about the intermediate stages. Text on change. So there is events. So these are just attributes. Are these HTML attributes? We have to supply this argument. Well, we'll leave that as a dummy for now. Oh. If it's sending a message on change, it might be re-rendering every time. But yeah, I have to have a dummy message to not do anything. And then we have to have hey. On change. This is a whole line that we took out a little while ago. Stream credits. Let's see if it's mad at that. Oh, we do need a bracket here. How? I guess because I imported it, it's counting that as attribute. Was not there. Yeah, I think we're losing some qualifiers here. And then we have to do our update function. Now, just the presence of even sending a message on each character probably means I can't use their input box. View.ignore. Yeah, they force some auto re-render. So that is a library-specific thing. There was a form example. Input radio, input username. Just send the new model. Button, checkbox, default checkbox, basic text, but it's still the same format. You assume we want to interact with every character. Why? I guess I'd have to try these out to see why they're special. Yep, there's no way to do it. Okay. So we go back to here. And make this an import. Display name entry box. Actually, is there two spaces there? No, okay. And then I have to see if I had any styles specific to that. But we have to do, I think it's just HTML. Then we don't need ignore. What? Cannot find a placeholder variable. Cannot find a name. Oh, because that was all written assuming that we had globally imported HTML. So I could maybe set up my own entry box that was compatible with their style. But oh, because I don't necessarily have access to interpreting labels and stuff there. I'd have to like completely re-implement the input. All right, html.div, html.label, html.attributes.class, html.attributes, html.text, html.text, html.input, html.attributes. Well, that one we can import because it doesn't really conflict. Oh, and I actually had this wrong, I think. And then we also had this as, well, I still haven't formatted this page at all, really. Okay, so that has at least basic function. Basic function of channel name input box. And I guess if we're not dealing directly with HTML and CSS, this isn't as much web development. All right. So we're once again at the point. So all of that centering work and styling work through the, hey, I want to experiment with a new library, basically put us back where we were last time. Which means that getting scrolling, we have exactly as much work in terms of having to get a time base, figure out positioning and how we handle, how do we want to handle wrapping? No, we're not an element. Focus style. We have size. I guess it's a whole lot of moves. Anyway, that feels like a chunk of work that will take us well beyond noon here. And this is one of those days where I would like to, I mostly sit around, so I should probably get some exercise. So the programming stream is over. I will be back to play Stepmania. In the unlikely event that anybody's interested in that, you're welcome to come back, but I will be down for a few minutes to change stream settings. And it'll take a few more minutes to get set up. So I don't have this scrolling yet, but we actually do have the hosting credits here. So thank you. Let's see, I don't need to host anyone myself because I'm going to be back in a minute. So yeah, I'll be back from Stepmania. We should continue trying to get this thing to act like a credit scroll tomorrow. I don't think there's anything else going on. So yeah, see you in a few minutes or tomorrow or whenever you want to stop by.